The horses offer a vantage point like no other for police officers that are working a large event like Taste of Madison, Freakfest.
Heads up.
And so the horses are also being visible. People can find us very easily if they need help. Also, we can also see flashpoints or problems forming in almost a few blocks away as we walk through the crowd or are maintaining an observation point from the exterior of a crowd.
That view is what we see all the time. The striking camera angle was the one from the officer at ground level, eye level with people. It's very, well, you can't see past the person in front of you. And when we're on the horse, we can see down a block or two. Horses have a calming effect on people. People can't get mad at the animal. They have their own views and preconceptions about horses, and they also have preconceived views about officers. And with the horse, it kind of softens us a little bit in a way. It makes us approachable. It kind of keeps the crowd demeanor down. It keeps them somewhat distracted. They can see the horses, and they're not intent on the officer. Now, that said, horses are, the ones we have are very large draft crosses, and they're good at one thing, is creating space. And we can do it very without a whole lot of force. Just by mere presence and moving the animal into an area, we can create space. We don't have to get into pushing anyone. People just, the human being survival mechanisms takes over, and they just move out of the way without even being asked. We just move the horses. That we have certain formations we use, and also certain movements you can use with the individual horse to get to create space and maintain an area of. We just want an area so the officers can do their jobs. The question comes up when they ask me, well, when do you get off your horse? And I tell them I'm 6'4", 225, standing right here. When I'm on Bubba, I'm 9.5 feet tall. I weigh 2,200 pounds. I got 2 arms and 6 legs. I will get off to perform CPR. But other than that, if there's a fight or something, I'm going to stay on my friend because I'm at an advantage being on the horse.
And the horses, when they're out on the street, they can go places that officers on bikes or even squad cars can't really go. And they can cover quite a bit of ground in search and rescue efforts, for example, and also evidence searches. So we'll get called often for those types of calls. Yeah, I'd say about 15 to 20 years ago there was a metro unit involving several jurisdictions throughout the city of Madison, and the horses were used for parks patrol, parades, and neighborhood patrols, and was disbanded, and the unit was brought back to the City of Madison Police Department in 2007, shortly after Halloween riots on State Street. The horses that were used during the riotous conditions during the Halloween celebration were State Fair Park Mounted Patrol, and I think the chief then, Noble Ray, was very impressed with how the horses were able to assist the troops working on foot in those types of conditions and being able to maintain and clear streets. So the City of Madison then offered up a few positions to some officers that would be able to provide their own horses, their own tack and gear, trucks and trailers, etc. So 2007 was the reincarnated version of the Mounted Patrol unit and has been flourishing ever since. We have the nonprofit Madison Mounted that also helps support the unit, so the community gets very much involved in the horses, and the unit, as far as the last 4 years, I'd say, is very reliably now out in the neighborhoods. During the weekdays, on the weekends, we're usually deployed as a unit working night shifts from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday nights.
In the off season, I ride Patrol West, 2 to 10, in a squad car, and I'll do radar on somebody's street. I'll be parked in front of their house, sitting there for an hour and a half. Not one person comes up, knocks on my window, says hi, or asks me what I'm doing or whatever. We ride the horse through a neighborhood, stop for somebody mowing their yard in their driveway. 15 seconds we're there, and pretty soon there's 10 to 15 people around us. And if we wait a little longer, the crowd even grows. it's the horse that they want to see. But they're like a big furry magnet for people. They just can't help themselves. People just have a need to reach out and touch the animal.
We always joke that no one wants to pet a squad car per se, or a police car, but the horses are an approachable means for the police to be able to interact with the public, kind of draw people out of their homes. And this year actually we implemented a program called Community Corral, and that is a scheduled time where we'll meet in local parks. It was quite astonishing how many neighbors would start communicating with each other when we were present and hadn't ever formally met. So the Community Corral, the idea behind that was the unique ability, the approachability of a horse, and how we were able to gather people that didn't know each other, but to form a safe community. Part of that is knowing who your neighbors are and knowing what is familiar in your neighborhood and what may look suspicious. So the Community Corrals were developed behind that type of thought process, where the horses drew people out of their homes and people got to meet their neighbors in a very informal setting.
I mean, I was a citizen a long time. I started to become a police officer. I was 38 years old when I was hired, so I was a citizen for a long time. And I just want people to know that, you know, behind the badge and uniform is a person just like them, with the same feelings, the same cares that they have. We're just out doing a job we're asked to do extraordinary things from time to time. And the public appreciates it, but they don't really understand it. And by understanding the officers behind the badge, I think the public has a better feeling of how and why we react the way we do. Hey, don't do that, idiot.